We are going to be getting to understand what this is about, then get deeper into the meat of this forum, because we're here not just to share the challenges, but to also come up with solutions and ways forward, so we can ensure that the challenges that are being experienced currently are not going to be eternal challenges, but we shall know how to surmount them.
I just wanted to say from Pascal to you, you're cordially welcome to be with us today. We are hoping to have very engaging, illuminating conversation on the issues related to pedagogy in Africa, teaching excellence.
It is our commitment to ensure that we remain a vibrant organization that is committed to good research, but valuable research. An organization that is committed to producing research that will inform policy making, so that we have got policies in various countries of Africa, policies that are informed by research. There is a need for us to go back to the drawing board and start respecting science in the making of our policies, so that at least the development policies that we have across the continent are informed much more by evidence than in anything else.
I also wish to take this opportunity to thank the United Kingdom Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, VCDO, for supporting PedaL. It is indeed gratifying to note that PedaL is one of only 8 projects worldwide funded by FCDO through the Strategic Partnership of Higher Education Innovation and Reforms grant scheme. I'm happy to learn that PedaL has achieved and indeed surpassed all its milestones. A program like PedaL, developed by Africans for Africans to address local challenges in collaboration with the international partners, is indeed our pride.
Here we are in 2021, trying to tell our society that our pedagogy has now to move to one extreme, and we start moving slowly towards the ones that we were taught, but when we went to the school, we did not implement, because we were teaching to get the learners to pass exams. This is what I found in PedaL, and I was extremely excited, and that is why I was struggling to come here, because I found in PedaL, let me use the word, an attempt to assess learners for learning, not assessment of learning. That means you engage with the learners, they engage among themselves and get to improve on what they don't know, so that they acquire learning. I've enjoyed my engagement with PedaL. I'm ready, at least for the months that we still have as this government, to start a process that whatever happens later can only continue.
The idea of this forum was to bring together stakeholders to discuss the different outcomes of the PedaL program, what it has achieved, what are the lessons, what are the challenges, and also chart a way forward for the future in terms of institutionalizing pedagogical approaches in Africa, across the different countries that we are in, and scaling up the work that has been done, number one. But number two, expanding more beyond higher education. You know, we have TVET education, we have basic education, and Dr. Gaturu talked a little bit about that. So we are also trying to stretch our thinking and our implementation agenda beyond higher education to ensure we are able to transform pedagogical approaches in education sector in Africa.
Because we need to construct knowledge, we need to unravel complex issues, we need to develop students who are employable, but who can also create opportunities for themselves and for others. And so it's against this background that we developed the Pedagogical Leadership in Africa program, which, as you can see, initially we had the fingerprints of Africa Research Universities Alliance, Institute of Development Studies, University of Sussex, University of Ghana, University of Ibadan, University of Dar es Salaam, Uganda Matters University, and Egerton University. Those were 8 founding partners, 7 led by PASGA. But where are we today? We are in 90 universities. So the family has grown. I want to congratulate each and every one of you for making this movement great.
This collaboration with PASGA and PedaL has been one of the most exciting initiatives for our institute from the point of view of transforming methods of teaching and learning. Our role in the PedaL initiative has been one of accompaniment. Technically, we are quality assurance, but we sort of called it program support. But I would even go beyond that to say it's been program support and learning, because we have gained so much from being part of this initiative. We've adopted and adapted PedaL methodologies into our own teaching, both face-to-face and online. And we've also been able to share some of the innovations in some of our initiatives in other parts of the world. Overall, PedaL really deserves an enormous round of applause, and it's been an enormous privilege for me and my colleagues at IDS to have been able to walk alongside, support, and learn from PedaL. I really count it as one of the most exciting initiatives in my career as a development practitioner and as an academic, and I commend everybody for this very strong African-led initiative, and appreciate the opportunity to be here today to celebrate what's been accomplished and to commit to going forward together with you.
A couple of things I have learned from exposure through the PedaL system. One is the group collaboration. We now work as a team. You cannot go to class as one person. All of us get to a board and discuss, how do we go about this? It's no longer this element of, I'm good at this, I can run this battle alone, we are learning together as a class. Everyone seems to be in synchrony in wanting to learn more.
What I found interesting were the case studies. They were real good. They would make you feel that you are in that situation, which is happening at that moment. You would really relate with the real life experiences of what is taking place in a certain place or what you are studying. So that would help you think critically on what is going on and relate with your own issues at hand.
It is not so much the content that you go and stand in front of the students and to speak to them about. It is how to get them to search for information, to be able to work with the information that they have. And that has been the exceptional learning aha moment for me in PedaL.
The training from PedaL has influenced my teaching greatly and also impacted my students a lot. I teach veterinary parasitology, and the changes that I have brought on board since being trained on PedaL has been amazing. First, I was the first to start WhatsApp learning on social media in my department. And I discovered that the students were so happy that what they do for pleasure, they could now use for learning.
We all talk about learner-centered teaching, but we never actualize it. We all say we are going to be to focus on the learner, but in practice, we don't. So you get teachers who are saying they'll equip the learner, they will equip the learner. It's not possible to equip any learner. PedaL approaches it from the learner using the outcomes approach.
It was very clear that there was a need, for us to change, and PASGA played this role.
There was a lot of challenges initially because we were forced to fast track the shift to online, and we moved everybody online against our plan. So there was initial resistance from students who are used to, and I think one of the speakers said, one of the students, why are you forcing us to do things differently? There was resistance from faculty. Many of them had not been trained properly. So it was a brand new thing to them. So everybody shifted to what was known as emergency remote teaching, which is a factor we have come to accept. But at that time, the training we had planned was mainly internal, structured per school, etc. But when this happened,
we had to look for partnerships. And that's when I had known about the PedaL program before, and we reached out to PASGA. We said, we have a crisis here. We have moved our teaching online, but we are not ready. We are not where we wanted to be. And we are very, very extremely grateful to PASGA and Mama PedaL for how they came up for us. And I think we need to give them another round of applause.
I used to teach until I got into PedaL. I stopped teaching. I had taught at the university for more than 30 years. So thank you, PedaL, for helping me stop teaching. Now I facilitate learning, and it's a beautiful experience.
I find myself in East Africa partly for a workshop in Rwanda, at the University of Rwanda, on pedagogies for peace building, when we looked at the kind of active pedagogies that can be delivered at university and the contribution they can make to peace. And we were talking to people who were teaching security services, masters in policing, masters in security, and the ways of teaching that could make a real difference to peace in the region. And then I came straight to Nairobi for a meeting with FCDO about education and conflict, and the contribution education in schools can make to combating violent extremism. And from our research, we know that didactic messages do not make a difference to peace. You cannot tell people about peace. People have to experience it, they have to live it, and teachers have to teach in a way that encourage young people to use critical thinking, to be able to discriminate against the messages they see online and messages of extremism. So I just wanted to say that universities need PedaL, that teach conflict, that teach security studies, and that provide teacher training. We have all the evidence to show that this can make a real difference. So encouragements to extend beyond the courses you're in, to work across the board.
The train already left the station. Is how will we move quickly to catch up with the train? Because with the fourth industrial revolution that has been buoyed by information technology, we can dilly-dally and be left behind and miss out on what is necessary in terms of innovation.
In higher education, there is a tendency to think more about the content of the innovation and less about the implementation, less about the dissemination, less about the transformative power of these pedagogical innovations. And that's why I believe that events like today are so important, because they address one of these main challenges. Scaling up of pedagogical innovation should integrate both macro and micro factors to take into account the effects of organizations and the individual role in these scale-up efforts. The concept of autonomy and networked approaches are really important here. To institutionalize innovation, leadership, synergies and socializing, clarity of responsibilities, and the objectives driving innovations are all absolutely key aspects.
The basic thing that is required is for us as individuals or as policymakers in our institutions to have a change in the mindset.
We need integrated educational policies. Now, most of our policies are not integrated, and that's why people talk of lack of funding. There's limited funding. Some people are not coming on board so fast. All this is because of disjointed policies. So if we could have integrated policies which look at both soft and hard skills, and then too, they're also able to bring all the stakeholders on board in the value chain of education. So PedaL will be very, very much appreciated. So that's one suggestion I'm putting across, that we need to emphasize on integrated education policy.
In talking about education then, and strengthening the system, we have to go to the root causes of what has not been working. When it comes to making policy, it has been government only, or an elite class, those of us sitting in this hotel, forgetting that the real need bearers have no access to Nairobi city or to this hotel. So the need bearers have never been involved like the early evangelists did in Africa. He or she sat with the people, tried to understand how they do their thing, and slightly got them doing. So what we have had has been education for them and not for us.
We've all learned over the last 2 years new ways of doing things, new ways of interacting. All of us here today are here because of the online space, but is our pathway to future educational systems and strengthened educational systems just online? Or what about the rest of it? What about everything we've done today?
Through PedaL, we are moving towards student-centered learning. We also could appreciate the positive impact of PedaL on the students and alumni. We saw the leadership skills that the students demonstrated. They talked strongly about how they are able to collaborate, the practical research skills, problem solving. Going forward, we want to explore how we can create a culture of student-centered learning and innovation in universities to sustain the positive outcomes.
For us, we just want to say asante sana for your participation. Thank you very much. And we hope that you will continue being with us. When we look at you, we see DNA of PASGA.
Thank you for being part of it, as I was saying. And for the online audience, it's great to have such an insightful forum, which is not only in this hotel in Nairobi, but it is across the borders and even across the continent, as we said.